Welcome back for your essential Week 14 IDP Linebacker Waiver Wire, the final of the 2025 season. We're diving into the full spectrum today. A couple of deep sleepers in a must-add streamer you cannot afford to miss. And starting at the deeper end, the Bengals' Demetrius Knight is our deepest linebacker target this week, and his opportunity is absolutely hot in this week's matchup. But this is more of a story of role over talent. And Knight's fantasy value surged a little when Logan Wilson was traded just weeks ago, allowing the Bengals to rebuild their linebacker core around two rookies. And noting, Knight has seen his role fluctuate recently, and this fluctuation has caused its snap percentage to slip a little to about 72% on the season. However, he's tallied 13 total tackles and 1 for a loss across the last 2 games. He also logged a key interception against the Ravens in Week 13. But we're not worried about his snaps, especially when he's still producing like a solid LB2 for us. And realistically, on the season, Knight has only really had 1 bad week, and he's managed to lock down 7 solid or better IDP box scores in total, and sprinkled in 3 double-digit combined tackle performances. But the real question is, why trust a rookie with a low PFF grade? And while both Knight and the other rookie starter, Barrett Carter, have poor PFF grades, hovering around a 36, that low grade doesn't matter. And it can even be an advantage when no team will really scheme to avoid either one of them. And, a bonus worth mentioning, the Bengals' defensive line has also struggled all season against the run, guaranteeing more than normal cleanup tackle opportunities for the linebackers to pick up. Add to that the Week 14 matchup versus the Buffalo Bills, who rank in the top 10 in allowing production to linebackers, and you have a slightly deeper high-floor sleeper ready to help win you your matchup. So, if you can, pick up Knight if you need him, and play him as an LB2 with LB1 upside with confidence. But that's only if the other guy, Barrett Carter, isn't available. He's not even nearly as deep anymore, and we figure he's really not available anywhere.
Now, let's move to a little stronger deep linebacker target who has a great floor this weekend. The Texans' Henry To'oTo'o is a very notable linebacker. He is part of a highly complementary linebacker duo alongside veteran Azeez Al-Shaair. He laid his foundation in 2024, where he finished with 105 combined tackles and 1.5 sacks, logging an outstanding 85% of snaps that season. But while he isn't logging a full-time snap rate like Al-Shaair, his season average is close to the 72% due to some weekly fluctuations, he has maintained a solid tackle floor per snap, and his production ceiling is rising. And let's keep in mind, Al-Shaair isn't exactly hogging all the tackles, leaving a few more opportunities for Henry to do the heavy lifting against the run. He's also a favorite draft pick of Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans, and that never hurts, especially when PFF has never given you a really good grade overall in his 3-year career. And most recently, To'oTo'o is playing more effectively in the backfield, not only logging 32 combined tackles, but also adding 4 tackles for loss and 1.5 sacks over his last 5 games. This high-floor production, including his 7 tackles, 1 for a loss, and 1 sack in the win over Buffalo, includes an uptick in the last 2 weeks in snaps to a more comfortable 78%. Plus, his value goes through the roof because of his matchup. The Texans face the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 14, and the Chiefs are currently ranked as a top 10 team at allowing production to linebackers in both tackle and sack-based formats. We have momentum, the matchup, and we think this makes To'oTo'o a must-add LB2 for immediate production with guaranteed upside for an LB1 ceiling. So grab him if you need him, but only if guys like this next linebacker aren't around to pick up first.
Finally, we wrap up with the undisputed must-add, who is fully healthy and ready to dominate the fantasy playoffs. And likely no surprise, the Eagles' Nakobe is your Week 14 must-start waiver wire linebacker. His return to the field is also likely the biggest story of the Eagles' defense. After missing the first part of the season while recovering from a devastating torn patellar tendon suffered in last year's playoffs, Dean is finally healthy and fully unleashed. And this is also perfect timing. After slowly ramping up his usage, Dean has finally averaged around 90% of the defensive snaps over the last 2 games, securing his every down role again. And this increase helped fuel his monster 12-tackle performance against the Bears in Week 13, bringing his total to 17 combined tackles, 1 for a loss, and a sack over those last 2 matchups. And it's not like he wasn't producing per snap before these last 2 matchups. And despite how often he is hurt,
Dean has always been a high-floor player with a massive ceiling when he's healthy. And he caps it all off with a top 5 tackle and top 10 sack-based ranked IDP matchups against the Chargers this week. So in our opinion, if you need a top LB1 this week, there is no better setup. Pick up Dean immediately. He is a must-start. Just don't plan on this guy being here the rest of the season. He's really had some bad luck with injuries. So that wraps up our Week 14 Linebacker Waiver Wire. If you like the IDP advice, hit the like button, subscribe for more IDP deep dives, and we'll see you real soon with more.
They doubted us every step of the way, but we knew what we were capable of.